Good morning everybody, and this is your S&P 500 day trade setups for today. So we have formed an inside bar off structure, and if you look to the left you can see there is our level that we looked at yesterday, and if my mouse will work, 43.89, call it 43.90. Look at my oscillators, they have separated and crossed over, so basically as far as I'm concerned the bigger trend is more than likely going to continue, which is up, pull back, and another up. There's a nice double bottom here, but the tail is the neckline of that double bottom, so it's still a way away. So the minute you start drilling down through the time frames, you're going to see the opportunities starting to appear. So as we expected here, this was an area that was going to be tough. Okay, you also have a bit of diversions here. So the only bearish thing right now is that the moving averages, the slow moving averages have crossed over. So there is a probability for a pullback, which would then form a range. Okay, so that's one thing that you do need to keep in the back of your mind. And then we start looking at the levels we need to look at for today. You can see there was the rejection that we had off the structure. As we said yesterday, we're looking for one of these tails here for a rejection. We did get the rejection, but the buyers came in pretty quickly to suck that up. Now if you look at the oscillators, they have separated in the opposite direction. So what you have on the higher time frames is you have a bit of a bullish setup with the trend, and on the lower time frames you have a little bit of confusion. This is indicating probably a pullback. With us being in around the moving averages, could very well be a case of waiting for data or waiting for earnings or something like that. So we're just going to muck around in this area of chaos. So I reckon if we just drop down to the 15-minute, I'm going to be favoring the moves to the upside rather than the moves to the downside, to be quite honest. You can see if I just use my cursor, so there is my inside bar. So you would have very well, you had an opportunity there short 81 points, but man, that was short-lived. In fact, on this pin bar I would have probably already dumped them. That's just me anyway. So for me today, we have a crossover of all the moving averages in the 15 minutes. So what I'm looking for is some form of structure for us to look at buying, and these are the areas you need to pay attention to. I just want to get to the 1 hour just to see where the 1 hour. Okay, we've got that one. Let's just put this one in as well. There we go. Right, so if you pop down to the 15-minute again, you'll see there are your areas to buy off. You can see this one lines up quite nicely with the 155 EMA, and it also is 44.10. Now I'm gonna just put in 4400 as well, because that is also something that may very well cause some trouble for us, and that is actually the lows of Friday. Okay, so 4400 would be something to pay attention to. You would expect some kind of a bounce off there. Be very wary of that move though, because it could be a move rejection and then a move back down to come and test the bottom of the range. Or alternatively, you're looking at this 44.10, I think is a better setup. This little cluster here may impact us. It's 44.14, 44, 13.8, 34, 14.7, call it 44.15. So I basically be watching that just in case, but this would be a little bit more ideal, 44.10, and then 4400 would definitely, not 4400, 4400. That would definitely be something you need to be paying attention to. Okay, so I'm looking to buy off that, off one of those levels. If these give way, then I'm sitting on my hands again, because then what you're probably looking for is another test of the lows here, which is going to give us a potential range setup. Okay, anyway, that's kind of me for today. Hope it helps. If it does, drop us a thumbs up and drop us a comment, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Cheers for now.